Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment on this video saying I subscribed. Let's get into it.
Russia's Nevsky Design Bureau has developed a shore-based training facility simulator that can be used to test the naval variant of India's light combat aircraft Tejas. The SBTF complex includes a takeoff springboard with an ascent angle of 140 degrees, air detectors, as well as optical, lighting, radio and television equipment for landing. The simulator should provide training for Indian Navy pilots to service purchased MiG-29K Cub deck fighters, and also be used for testing of the Indian carrier-based light fighter Naval LCA, the company said in a booklet released on the occasion of its 90th anniversary. An SBTF is, also known as a land-based test facility, is used for the flight testing of aircraft that operate from aircraft carriers. They are also used for the training of the pilots who will operate the aircraft from the aircraft carriers. Currently, only the US, China and Ukraine have the SBTF other than Russia and India. The Indian Navy's SBTF, designed by the same Russian company Nevsky, is located at INS Hansa in Goa. Nevsky says the new SBTF is similar to NITKA complex in Goa. NITKA is used to train and certify Navy pilots of the MiG-29K for the aircraft carrier INS Vikramaditya, and for the developmental trials of the naval Tejas. In a recent interview, Chief of Hindustan Aeronautics Limited has said that starting HAL will be delivering 16 Tejas Mk1A fighter jets per financial year and as per contract now confirmed to include 2 financial penalties if it is not able to maintain 16 aircraft per year schedule. HAL will need to shell out 10% per aircraft delayed for the contracted year in penalties, and the second penalty will be that it won't be able to ask for price escalation due to delays following year for the same. HAL is looking to maintain 16 jets per year from 2023-24 and go up to 20 by end of the second year in production. While the contract for 73 Tejas Mk1A is likely to be concluded in 4.5 years with delivery starting from 2023, HAL will also need to ensure that it maintains the build quality of each aircraft as promised, where Indian Air Force can refuse to take handover if it is found unsatisfactory. Indian Air Force has reportedly told HAL that the goal is to get 16 jets per annum with the quality that has been assured in papers. Indian Air Force will welcome additional jets if there is no compromise in work and quality of the product over the target per year, but won't stress over 16 jets per year. In a recent interview, the chief of HAL has said that the company is in charge of developing a strengthened front and main landing gears for the program. HAL will also be developing an arrestor hook system for the TEDBF program. HAL in the past has developed an arrestor hook system, a redesigned landing gear, a speed controlling device for landings for the 2 LCA Navy prototypes NP1 and NP2, and prototypes tricky landing and takeoff debuts from a Navy's aircraft carrier were done successfully last year. That has given enough confidence for the HAL team to successfully develop a better system for the TEDBF program, gaining by the previous experience. Chief also confirmed that the first rollout of Tejas Mk2 will happen by August 2022 and the first flight by August 2023. TEDBF rollout is expected in 2025 and the first flight by 2026 and will enter production by 2029. The Indian and French Rafales will be in action together for the first time during bilateral Desert Night 21 air exercises starting Wednesday. The war games will be held at Air Force Station Jodhpur from 20 to 24 January. French side will participate with Rafale, Airbus A330 multi-role tanker transport, MRTT, A400M tactical transport aircraft and approximately 175 personnel. The Indian Air Force, IAF, aircraft participating in the exercise will include Mirage 2000, Su-30 Mki, Rafale, IL-78 flight refueling aircraft, AWACS and UNC aircraft. As part of Indo-French defense cooperation, Indian Air Force and French Air and Space Force have held 6 editions of air exercises named Garuda, the latest being in 2019 at Air Force Base Montana de Marsan, France. As measures to further the existing cooperation, the two forces have been gainfully utilizing available opportunities to conduct HAP exercises. The French Air and Space Force, Armée de l'Air et de l'Espace, deployment while ferrying to Australia for Pitch Black in 2018 was hosted by IAF at Air Force Stations Agra and Gwalior for exercise with fighters and MRTT aircraft. Presently, the French detachment for Desert Night 21 is deployed in Asia as part of their Skyros deployment and will ferry in forces to Air Force Station Jodhpur. 8 Rafales have been delivered to the IAF out of a total of 36 that will form 2 squadrons. By 2023, both squadrons, each comprising 18 jets, will be ready. Russia's Nevsky Design Bureau has developed Varan, a universal sea ship. Varan is an aircraft carrying complex, characterized by a high degree of automation and the possibility of using robotic systems. It can carry 24 multi-purpose aircraft, 6 helicopters and up to 20 AVs, Nevsky said in a booklet released on the occasion of its 90th anniversary. The ship's displacement is about 45,000. It has a length, about 250 meters, width of 65 meters, draft at the structural waterline -9 meters. Varan is capable of speeds up to 26 knots. The displacement of another new ship designed by PKB, the Universal Landing Ship, is about 30,000 tons. The length of the ship reaches about 220 meters, the width is 42 meters, the draft along the constructive waterline is 7 meters. The new UDC is capable of developing a speed of about 24 knots. There are 7 helicopter landing sites on the deck of the ship. India has procured gas turbine engines from Ukraine and handed over to Russia to install them on the Admiral Grigorovich-class guided missile stealth frigates that are being made for the Indian Navy by a Russian shipyard as part of $2.5 billion deal. Sources in the defense and security establishment said that the construction of the 2 frigates by Yantar shipyard in Russia is going on according to schedule, and the first of the 2 is expected to be delivered by the end of 2022. The second vessel is scheduled to be delivered 6 months later in 2023. Following Crimea's reunification with Russia in 2014, its ties with Ukraine went for a toss and Moscow stopped importing the engines from the Ukrainian manufacturer. India had to, therefore, procure and transfer the same to Russia, which also needed Ukrainian permission that was given in 2016. India had in 2016 inked an intergovernmental agreement with Russia for 4 frigates, a follow-on of the Talwar-class vessels, and its contract was signed at the end of 2018. According to the deal, 2 ships are to be built in Russia, while the other 2 to be built at the Goa shipyard in India with technical collaboration from Russia.